Today I have Steve with me, the head coach of Schön Kung Fu Academy here in Berlin. Hello, Steve. And we will do an interview together, speaking about Tai Ji Chuan and the way I learn and he teaches Tai Ji Chuan here in the academy. Maybe the first question, what is Tai Ji Chuan?
It is first of all a movement art, an healing art, but also a martial art. But then if you look a bit beyond that, it is for me an art to create balance, even more. Like balance in my body, balance in my breathing, balance in my mind, and through that balance in my life. So therefore for me, the more interesting and the more important part of Tai Ji Chuan is this transition into everyday life and to see how can I use Tai Chi as a tool to create more balance in my life, and on this way also to learn more about myself, to discover myself in all different aspects. And this is Tai Chi for me, a tool for self-discovery, self-research.
You already mentioned now certain basic ways of moving, about how to become more efficient in motion, how to move more effortless. How does this process start here in your teachings?
For all these basics that we have in Tai Chi, first of all, and the most important, is the meditative practices. Because also Tai Ji Chuan is first of all a meditation practice in movement. So if you ask me, I think these basics that we learn in sitting and standing meditation, especially also, are the most important for Tai Chi. What are these basics? First, very simple. How do I hold my body, right? So how do I position my spine and the other joints in a way that I'm not holding myself in gravity and exhaust myself in sitting or standing positions, but instead I learn to position myself, build up kind of connective structures, bridge structures we say also, that gravity can pass through our skeleton and fascial system without muscles needing to hold us too much in space. And this is then first of all establishing a posture that is more relaxed. We're not wasting energy, we're not tensioning muscles when we don't need to tension, and we can slowly more and more open our body. In this structure and release work, we start to learn also how to breathe, how to bring these basic Daoist concepts into our breathing practice, and we teach and guide our breath also into a more natural habit. And this is also connected a lot to how we hold our body and how tense we are. Because if we are tense in our body, if we hold our body wrong, how can the breath be free in our body? So these three things, how to hold the body, how to release, and how to breathe, they're very much connected and are for me the most important basics for Tai Ji Chuan.
When I started practicing Tai Chi with you, it was very new for me to have so many young people moving here slowly together, and until now, when I look at it, sometimes there is this discrepancy to how it feels. Until now, I sometimes fall in this trap that I see it as like there's not much going on. But in the moment it happens to you, Tai Chi happens to you, it's a complete different universe and there is no more doubts. What do you think is a possibility for younger people like me, for example, to find their way into this practice? Why is it still hidden?
I think the point is exactly what you say also, that you cannot understand it until you really experience it, right? Even these basics like standing Qigong, people wonder why do they do that? Why they stand like half an hour like this, and it is hard. Why do they move 2 hours slow? It's so annoying in the beginning. But because there is something that make it seem boring, that make it seem sometimes also annoying, or make me stressed to move so long, so slow, make me feel more tense, for me it's a sign there is something. There is something we can learn. and also especially young people can learn, right? When my father always told me, you should learn Taiji, you should learn Taiji. I was 16, 17. I told him, I do this when I'm older, you know. And I had the same opinion because I felt like, yeah, this is boring, it's for old people, it's maybe for health, but it's nothing that can bring me benefit. But I think it is connected to that we don't really understand Taiji, that it is a tool for self-mastery. Something many people look for in young age also. And it is also so difficult because you have to invest so much to understand it really. I went into Taiji because I had an injury suddenly and I had to do something softer. And in this time doing Taiji for 1 year, I understood, wow, this is exactly what I was always looking for. But I would have never done it if I would not have a physical reason for it. And I think this is a bit one of the difficulties and problem of Taiji. And you also experience this with people coming here to the school. That come full-time. Usually it takes 6 months to 1 year that something opens and suddenly you cannot stop these people anymore. They cannot stop practicing anymore because they understood what they're working for. But maybe this is also the special about Taiji, that you need to first find the key to unlock there something, and that it's not something that is presented to everyone for free. You first have to invest until you get the truth of that work.
But why is it so important to move slow?
It's a good question, because I see also often people in our beginners class, it's hard for them to move for so long, so slow. And yeah, then also the question before, like for young people also especially, it's difficult to understand the value of moving slow. But I think, especially nowadays, moving slow is so special. Because we learn and we grow up with this, you have to be fast, you have to be better than the others. Yeah? To be good means to be fast. All these things that define us, our growing up and how we see the world, and Taiji suddenly comes and shakes you and tells you, okay, now you will be good when you are very slow. When you take your time, when you have suddenly no goal to run to, but every moment that you move is precious. It's not about ending your form, it's about enjoying, about breathing, about being in the moment. So this is one very important aspect of this. And then of course also if I look in the learning methodology that we use, it's very special and very important also in my opinion to move slow. When I move slow, I have so much more time to look at things. How is my body? How can I relax more? Yeah, so in this moving slow, I build up an interest to look and observe. And you see people that the more they practice, the slower they want to become, because they suddenly see so many things that they can observe and that they can create good feeling in the body with, that there is not a slow enough, right? The slower I move, the more I can see. It's like I go in a way, and I go this way very fast. I will not remember any flower that was on the side and any tree. But if I go the way and I take every moment very slow, look here, maybe look down, see the bugs on the floor, like a child, you know, enjoying the way, not running the way to the goal, but enjoying the way because there is life. Every moment is life. And in our Taiji form, every moment there is you and your body and the truth of nature that is telling you things that you can learn from. And this is then when we say you open these books. Yeah? You can buy 10,000 books about Taiji, but no book has so many pages as the book you can open in a slow movement when you practice Taiji. And I think this is something, often in the beginning I have forced people to, because it doesn't feel natural yet to move so slow. But with the time, the more people get advanced, the more people see what are all the things this practice brings to the body, the more they want to move slow, because the more they see there is to discover. And then to round up this part is also one more time I want to emphasize this, like what is for me also so important in Taiji, that should shake us a bit, you know, because as I say, our society is so defined of what is right and what is wrong. what is good and what is not good. And I feel Taiji can also be a tool to question these things, you know. I don't have to be always good. I don't have to be always the best in all the things. It's also okay to just be. It's also okay to be the slowest, you know, in the group. It also has value. Like Zhuangzi said in his book, be the tree that no one wants to cut down because it's too bad for being wood for a boat. It's even too bad to be wood for a coffin, right? And Taiji teaches us this, to be the worst, you know, and make something valuable out of that and cultivate in everything in life that we get and that we have something valuable. And for this, to be slow is very valuable in my opinion and very special for Tai Ji Chuan also.
Do you have a prediction for where Taiji could go here in Berlin, let's say, or in the West?
Let's see. I think that the more far we get from our origin, because Taiji is a practice bringing us back to our origin, right, to our roots, making us feel home again with ourselves. So I think the more we create distance to that by going more and more into, I don't know, TikTok, Instagram, and now AI comes on top, yeah. It will continue more this disconnection. The more we get tools that help us in life, right? The more we will also get away from nature. And I think Taiji, I hope, and I think Taiji will be more recognized in these times. The more this happening, will be recognized as a tool to come back home and to look for that. And I think it is happening already. I think that we two sit here talking about Taiji is a bit of proof that in some areas it's happening. The people that went the way ahead of us, like Ismet and even his teachers, did a good job showing this as a tool for that. And now it's our job to carry it on again more also to the younger people and to our fellow age people to show that Taiji is a tool for every age.
Coming from youth spent in wrestling and still very interested into fighting arts, like talking about myself, a bit provocatively asked, do you think you can fight with Taiji, or what is the place of this art in fighting arts?
I think you can use Taiji for fighting. I think you could even go and take really just Taiji and learn to fight with it, but I think it is a very intense way and long way, and it's not just now you practice a bit application and then you can use it for fighting. And it would also need that you have an overview of basic boxing, basic kicking, basic modern fighting arts, basic BJJ, basic wrestling. In my opinion, you would still have to you need to be up to date, and then you can take Taiji and also use it for fighting, yeah, really as it is. But even more, and this is also the direction I'm more interested into, is to say, I want to see what are the principles of Taiji and carry these on into fighting arts. And what we do here in the school is, for example, we do now a lot of Tuisho, which is all about bringing the principles of the moving meditation into a meditation practice with a partner, or Qigong practice with a partner, yeah, to see really how do I use the structure when I get a push, how do I play with momentum in the body that I gain, yeah, and give it back through structure. How do I play with force, not by answering with tension, but by answering with relaxation. And this maybe is, in a summary, in a nutshell, yeah, this like recondition our body habits, because usually in a fight we tensen up. Usually someone is pushing, trying to take me down, I tensen up as a reaction. And this, for example, this practice we can take a lot into also modern martial arts, like wrestling, like BJJ, what we do a lot here, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the school, that I see how do I don't fight force versus force, but how do I use structure to answer against someone with muscle force? How do I can maybe redirect his force and one door is closing, another door is open. Yeah, you push here, I give something here back. So these principles of Taiji, to never answer with yang, but when yang is coming, I answer with yin, and so I create harmony again. This is something we are in the school working a lot on, and one part of this, one very important part, is our Tuisho practice, where we build up the transition.
But if I want to learn how to fight, why, in your opinion, should I even do Taiji? If you say this takes a longer time in order to learn to grasp certain principles and to maybe apply them in a fighting context, why don't I just do many years of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Hopefully with time I will also get softer, and more efficient in the way how I move, and I will be able to cover a certain practical spectrum of fighting. Why should I add Taiji or do Taiji?
In this practice that we do, and also a reason why I went into Taiji and inner martial arts, is that we learn to move more healthy. We learn to move our body correctly, more correct. Yeah, if I look in how I moved before I practice inner martial arts and now, it's a different quality, it's a different understanding of softness, of how to move my joints efficient, and how do I take care for staying healthy in my body. And then also the other aspect is that I believe that if you practice both, if you practice Taiji and, for example, BJJ or boxing, kickboxing, I believe that you have the possibility to develop another level of sensitivity. I don't really believe that you can do like 20% boxing, 80% Taiji, and then fight a professional boxer and be as good. But I think if you would have a Taiji base and now you go professional in the boxing, you have other tools to work with. People that study here in the school this approach of, let's say, 30% fighting arts, 70% inner martial arts, that they move very fast, very efficient, also in a boxing frame, also in a BJJ frame. Doesn't mean now they go to competition and beat everyone that practice 100% BJJ, but if I look at them, I see with less effort they move more beautiful, more healthy, and eventually make similar progress in their practice in fighting arts and people that focus 100% on it, because they have another tool to work with the body. And on top of that, to sum up, also another reason why I went into the internal martial arts, you get philosophy. And this is also a very important part, that you get through physical work and physical practice a philosophy that is helping you in your life, and that makes you not like this, like, I just want to fight and punch people kind of attitude, but it brings you an attitude into life that you understand martial art is about peace. Martial art is about not fighting. When I fight, I don't practice to fight against force, I try to neutralize force and regain harmony. This is what we practice in fighting.
If I now want to consider to start practicing Taiji, what do you think is the minimum amount I need to invest into it? Let's say I'm doing certain sports and I want to start in addition. How much practice does it need to have a certain benefit from it?
The question is not how much time. The question is how serious you take it. Because you can take Taiji into your life with a very minimal time of practice. You can start to understand these concepts, you can start to observe life in a different way and do Taiji like this, yeah? Like also if you go now and have sport and something and you start to look there for these principles of Taiji. So I think this question for me is always more how important it is for me. You know, when I didn't have so much time to practice, I was the whole day holding my head like this, practicing this, yeah? And then I open a door and I start to move like this so I can bring Taiji into my everyday life, and then I feel like it brings also really the benefit. If you start to not see it only in a training hall, but if you start to take it into your life. And then you can practice 8 hours a day, but if you then go out of the training hall and you sit like this again, and you don't care about anything that you learn in your Taiji class, Maybe somebody train 1 hour a day, but take the things into the daily life, will take more Tai Chi Chuan into the life and get benefits from it, right? So I think this is for me the question, how serious I take it. But maybe to answer a bit more simple also, I think if you manage to invest 1-2 hours a week into Tai Chi Chuan, it's great. You take something, you have the time to develop over time something. If you're not going with it too ambitious into it, right? When you want very fast, a lot out of it, but slowly, then this is enough, 1-2 hours a week. And then of course, as always, as we say, the more the better. 1 hour a day would be great to invest for Qigong and Taiji, to have developed something. So if you look at our teacher training, this is what they do more or less, yeah? 1-2 hours a day, and then you really see over the years things can move and happen. But also then, again, this question, how serious I take these things really, and are for me important.
Our way of practicing Taiji is from the Wudang Mountains, and it is Daoistic influenced. Yeah? What is the connection of Taiji and the Daoist philosophy that builds the fundament here for our art?
I think, and this is also one of the most important aspects of Taiji, this building up of the Daoistic philosophy and movement. And what does it mean? Because this Daoistic philosophy that we are looking in our school and focusing a lot in our school on is to learn to observe nature and to let nature go its course. Yeah? To not interfere so much that we believe we human know always better and we interfere, yeah? And we treat one medicine with the next, but to allow nature to go its natural course. And this is something that we practice in Taiji a lot, this like letting go and allowing basically the flow of nature to carry us into movement. And this starts with, yes, we need first of all to see how much we are doing all the time. How, for beginners, it's super difficult to move slow, to go down, to hold the body so long in this kind of positions, because they are constantly holding, they're constantly standing in their own way. Yeah? But if you practice Taiji more, you get softer, 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 and suddenly you go down and your legs are not carrying you, but you enjoy to release into the stance, yeah, and you allow the movement of the center to travel through the body and pass through the joints, and then it's like, yeah, one time initiating kind of a momentum and then letting this momentum carry you through space. So it's all about letting go of control, that you can control it and let it happen through you. This is this Wu Wei, not interfering kind of practice we need in Taiji. That starts in our standing meditation, sitting meditation, but we also especially need for Taiji, that my movement, I'm not doing the push, but I'm letting the push happen. And sometimes it feels for me a bit like surfing, yeah, like riding a wave. You just enjoy how these movements appear and disappear, how this collapsing and expanding is appearing like day and night, you know. It's just happening, and you're observing that. You're observing this play of nature and becoming suddenly part of this play of nature. And yeah, this Wu Wei practice it starts with our body, that we interfere, but of course also with our mind, that we try to first in the beginning we need to remember all the movements. Then we are very busy with our mind. Later on, other parts come in that maybe we move and it's difficult for us to stay focused or stay in the body, that our thoughts carry us away. And then like this, we stand in our own way, that we are not in balance with our mind. And in Taiji, you learn to balance body and mind and to let go to the flow of nature. Becoming, again, more nature yourself. Yeah? Because we all carry this nature in us. We all are nature, right? It's just through our intelligence, through our conscious minds, And through our society, we get very disbalanced in our lives and with ourselves, and therefore very disconnected with the nature in us. So Taiji is also what I said before. Taiji is a tool to reconnect to our own nature, what means ultimately to let go of who we are and just give in to this motion of life. And this is Taiji. So if you see someone high-level Taiji, you see this person is not moving him or herself anymore. There is something else moving this person.
I think that's a nice way to end. Definitely puts me in the place to want to go back practicing and looking at the things and surfing this way that you talked about. Thank you for this interview. Thank you for giving us a frame and an insight into your way of seeing the things in and around Taiji.
Thank you also, Nico, for joining, for giving me good questions, being a good partner for this conversation. And for you guys, also short information, we will have in the summer one Taiji Basic Taiji Seminar with Nico. Then from there our Taiji months will start, a whole month of Taiji focus in which you can move into the school, train with us full time, focus for 1 month fully on Taiji. And all these events and good training will end with a Taiji camp, which Tara, another student of the school, and me together will lead the Taiji camp, in which we continue the work that Nico started in the seminar. So you can, in these times, join only the seminar with Nico. We will have a lot of tools to practice with, but you can also join the seminar and camp, or you join all 3 things for a whole month. Yeah, all these options are open. It's open for all levels. We will be super happy to have you there with us. And yeah, a part of this. If you like this interview, also, as always, feel free to share the video to help us spreading the art, and also feel free to subscribe to the channel.
And comment if you have anything that you would like to know that I forgot now. Feel free to ask questions. That always helps me to actually think and see the things better.
Yes.